What was your favorite childhood restaurant growing up as a kid? For many, a lot of people may say something really big and cool, like, oh yeah, I went to Dave and Buster's when I was a kid, or I went to Lucky Strike when I was a kid nowadays. But for me personally, and to this day, as someone who is a grown adult now, 26 years old, that honor goes to Chuck E. Cheese, more specifically, Chuck E. Cheese Pro City in Hawaii. And as of me recording this video today at 8:33 a.m. on August 10th, 2025, Chuck E. Cheese Pro City's last day is officially today and are officially shut down after 30 plus years in business. So I want to talk about this today and just cover this briefly because to me this really hits home for me as someone who not only grew up here their entire life here in Hawaii, but this was one of my childhood places and parties and hazards that I've gone to that I grew up on over the years. And of course, I figured in commemoration of this, I was able to go out and buy the shirt for it. So this is the official final merch that I bought for the shirt with them shutting down. You were also able to snag in like a free sticker as a result, which is like right here. And I decided to go crazy with it and decided to go into their photo booths. Now, obviously, the photo booth that I went to, it wasn't like the old modern color pencil photo booth, which I actually prefer over this one. But I figured, why not? This is the final time I'm going to be going to Chuck E. Cheese Pro City, and I grew up here. Let's rip it. So, yeah, this is me uh, taking my final picture one more time at Chuck E. Cheese Pro City, and I said, fuck it, let's let it rip. And then finally, I decided why not. I was against getting their card in the first place, but I also bought their Play Pass, which why freaking not? It's the final time I'm going to be going to Chuck E. Cheese Pro City, most likely ever, unless I have a kid of my own, which who knows. But yeah, today is a bit of a somber one because I just want to come up here and say that Chuck E. Cheese Pro City was my go-to childhood entertainment from elementary school up until high school. And you may think that okay, that's a little weird for someone that likes to go to Chuck E. Cheese nowadays, but you have to understand where I came from. Growing up, before modern phones and modern computers were such a huge household name, there were places like Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's, even Shakey's at the time before Shakey's unfortunately went downhill here on Island. But point being is that Chuck E. Cheese was the go-to place for entertainment for those who weren't able to afford like the newest current game console at the time. Which for me growing up, the most recent game console that I was begging my parents to get at the time was like a PlayStation 3 or a fucking Wii U. Before I knew those two consoles were not going to be super good and long lasting, right? And Chuck E. Cheese was not only a place I went to just to celebrate my numerous amounts of birthdays from when I was in elementary school, but there's even one year where I even celebrated my 15th or 16th birthday at Chuck E. Cheese Pro City. And I still remember it pretty fondly to this day. Um, the atmosphere, the aesthetics of Chuck E. Cheese is still iconic and still like the moment you walk into Chuck E. Cheese's Proceeds door, you know you're in for some really fun times. Even as someone who's a 26-year-old man going to Chuck E. Cheese one last time, I was really happy to see that in its final moments, we're seeing that Chuck E. Cheese Pro City is just going out with a bang, having fun, giving laughs and laughter all around. And that's what I love about it. That's what I love about this. And ultimately, this was not only, like I said, a place where a lot of people celebrated birthdays. This is where kids around their elementary school age would um, go to get treated if they got really good grades, if they read a ton of books after a while, if they did something big of an achievement that made their parents proud, then they go straight to Chuck E. Cheese the next within a couple hours after school ends. Because again, Chuck E. Cheese supposed to say is close to some schools within that area, so it obviously makes sense why it was built there. And for over 30 plus years, it's really shocking still to this day that the news that Chuck E. Cheese Pro City shutting down is a really sad one. It honestly is a pretty sad one, to say the least. So, what's going to happen now with Chuck E. Cheese Pro City, from what was being told on this article, and from what me, my sister, and many others were able to like go into during the final moments of Chuck E. Cheese Pro City is that a lot of the big Chuck E. Cheese memorabilia, like the posters and such, are going to be spread out to the other two Chuck E. Cheese on Island, which is Kapolei and the Kalihi side one. And all the furniture and everything that was part of Chuck E. Cheese Pro City right now is going to get auctioned off. And finally, the animatronics, which is a pretty big thing here in Chuck E. Cheese Pro City. It's one of the last animatronics here on Island to last. Is actually going to be donated and sent to a museum as it is one of the last animatronics on Island that exists in the first place. That's still surprisingly operational too. As in me like checking this place out one more time. So, yeah, again, I wish I could show more photos and maybe even videos of Chuck E. Cheese Pro City and during its final moments right now, but I figured to just kind of talk about it because this just hits kind of home for me as a child from someone who's grown up in this area throughout their life. And to hear that they're shutting down after 30 plus years, considering that they were doing super well even as of late, is really shocking to this day. So, yeah, just want to talk about this. And yeah, rest in peace to Chuck E. Cheese Pro City. I will see you all in the next video. Later.